back, but I started off by knowing the factors of that number. So what's the volume here? I'm going to come up with two different parts. I'm going to highlight them. This is the one I've talked about in other videos about throwing away. I'm finally going to do it. Maybe this is the one I talked about throwing away. Anyway, maybe they're both need to throw away. Two sides. Let's make our blank lines. Okay, so I don't know my volume. Let's look at the length. I'm going to make this one be my highlighted one, and this one be my blank one. Okay, so what's the length? Length goes straight across with this diagonal, highs up and down. It's labeled. I'm good. Width, I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it. Oh, now I see it. 3. So this is 3, this is 3, this is 3, this is 3. So my width is 3. Remember, my width is diagonal, and I kept tracking around until I found a diagonal that was labeled. So now I'm looking for a height. Okay? This whole thing is 12, but I only want this part. So let's look for any more heights labeled. Oh, this one's labeled as 8, so this part's 8. Okay, now I'm looking for just the pencil. Straight across. It's labeled 10. Width is diagonal. It's labeled. And I'm looking for a height. It's not labeled, it's not labeled, it's not labeled. But if this whole thing is 12, what is 12 minus 8? That's 4. All right, I'm ready to do my work. 4 times 3 is 12, times 8 gives us 96. Let's come over here. 10 times 3 is 30, times 4 is 120. Let's add these two together. 120 plus 96, 216. 216 centimeters cubed. So if you missed part of it, redo your work. Okay, I'm going to color half of it. So when we had homework the other night that I was checking off that we worked in small groups yesterday, some of you didn't highlight. You didn't go back and use those strategies that you know. So I have length times width times height, L times W times H, L times W times H. So, well, this one's going to be my yellow. Remember, length is across, W straight up and down, cross, diagonal, straight up and down. All right, so let's look at it. Length goes straight across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My width is diagonal. 1, 2. My height is straight up and down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's look for the plain white one. Length is straight across. 1, 2, 3. My width is diagonal. 2. My height is straight up and down. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one's a little hidden, so I decided it would be better for me to do it over here. Let's do our work. 5 times 2 is 10. Times 4 is 40. 3 times 2 is 6. Times 4, 24. 40 plus 24 equals 64. And since I don't have a measurement, I'm going to write it as units cubed. So the janitor here is stacking box in the supply closet. Below is a table of the box dimensions. Complete the table below. So I have all these volumes. So I can use my calculator to help me. 12 times 4 times 5. So I should have 240 inches cubed. 2 times 7 times 3. 42 inches cubed. I'm always multiplying the dimensions. 11 times 5 times 6. 330 inches cubed. So if he stacked a notebook box on top of the paper book, paper box, what would it be? Paper, notebook. Paper, notebook. 240, 330, 075. 570 inches cubed. If you stacked 3 marker boxes on top of each other, what would the volume be? 42, 42, 42. That was 3 marker boxes. 4, 6, 4, 8, 12. Okay, let's look at, he has a space that has a total volume of 480. What 2 boxes would completely fill it? 480. I'm looking for what 2 boxes would completely fill it. So I can't use notebook and paper because that would be too big. So I have to look at, I can't use these 2, that's too big. If I use any of these combinations, that's too small. But I do know that I could have 2 papers to get 480. So that would be 2 paper boxes. Okay, let's look at the last one. What other combination of boxes could be used to fill a space with a minimum? Minimum means smallest. Maximum means biggest. Okay, so I have to be in between these 2 numbers. So I could do